feature film, we are talking about High and Low, the Akira Kurosawa film that recently got a remake by Spike Lee called Highest and Lowest, starring Denzel Washington. I am going to go see that particular remake on Wednesday, so I decided, you know what, I have to watch High and Low prior to seeing the remake because I'm a little leery about the remake. Quick sidebar, Spike Lee did remake Old Boy in 2014 or 15, I think it was. And I love the original. It was one that really kind of introduced me to South Korea cinema. And I have to say that his remake was not that good. In comparison, of course. I feel like I saw his film as a standalone film, and as a remake, I might have enjoyed it more. But as a remake, it just didn't really capture what the original did. Now, Akira Kurosawa is considered to be one of the greatest filmmakers to ever live. Now, I say considered to be one of the greatest because it's very arguable who is the greatest filmmaker to ever live. Now, Akira Kurosawa has a phenomenal filmography, including films like Seven Samurai, Run. I mean, the list just goes on, and this film is no exception. This is actually based on a novel called A King's Ransom, and the film pretty much is a wealthy shoemaker. His family is targeted, their son's kidnapped, and he is put in a moral dilemma. That's the official synopsis. Don't want to give any spoilers away. Well, I guess we could kind of. I do want to kind of touch base on a little bit because it is in the opening sequence we come to learn that it is not his son that was kidnapped. His son was the target. It was actually his first son that was kidnapped, not his son. And it wasn't. We learned this like literally within the first few minutes of the film. So the whole thing is that he is facing this moral dilemma. Does he pay the ransom of his chauffeur's son, which would then indeed put him in a situation where he is sacrificing his own financial stability? I look at this film really as two different parts. Now, I know that sounds kind of strange. This is one solid film, but your first half of the film is coming on the dilemma of a moral compass and doing what is considered to be right. And your second half of the film is more of the thriller of figuring out who done it and how to make things right. Now, the film is very well paced. At no point did I feel like the film had any issues on that end. I do make the reference that it feels like two different parts, and that's more or less because it's not in the sense of like Man on Fire, where we have, the kid is kidnapped and the film is trying to get vengeance and or get the kid back. It's more of the kid is kidnapped. What are we going to do to resolve the issue? And then we see the aftermath of the issue. Now, this film, again, it says, at least from Criterion's release, that it is a insight on Japanese society, or commentary on Japanese society, which is something I'm not very familiar with. I'm not even going to pretend to think that I am. However, I do plan on covering this film on the podcast Criterion Corner, so we'll probably cover this not this week coming up, but next week, and I'll plan on doing a little deeper dive into the commentary of the film and, really what was the statement or what it was trying to say about Japanese culture of the time. And overall, as a noir thriller, I definitely think it works. It has a very subtle score, and I feel like the score and cinematography is something that is noticeably, I don't want to use the word dull because I feel like that's be a negative reflection, but I feel like especially the score is very scarce throughout the film, and when it's there, it works, and it has these moments when it comes into play, it really enhances the film, but it's very scarce throughout. And the cinematography is very simple, but again, a simple cinematography is really all you need in this film for the dialogue and the overall performances that would drive this film, along with Kurosawa's direction, and really just kind of pulling that all together. And I have to say, this one is not my favorite Kurosawa film as of yet. I haven't seen all of his film yet. All of his films, still working through his filmography. Seventh Samurai is still at the top. This definitely is going to be one that's going to be hard to beat, I'd say, or hard to or hard to remake in a form in which it's going to bring something more to the table that the original didn't already do. Like I said, this film has astonishing performances. I think it's very insightful on this conscientious of decisions of right and wrong, and kind of doing what is right and doing what is needed. And there's this fine line, and we have these moral dilemmas that are very much real and very important to not only the film but also to the kidnapper himself on his motives. And just the twist is very intriguing and unsettling. So I definitely would say this is a film worth checking out, and one I can't wait to do a deep dive on and talk more about in depth. If you haven't already seen it, it is available in the Criterion collection. I don't believe it's out of print yet. Let me rephrase that. I do know it is getting a 4K and Blu-ray re-release, I want to say the first week in September. Now, I would recommend, if you haven't seen this film yet, wait until the 4K comes out or the Blu-ray to buy it and watch it. The DVD, I had the DVD copy from Criterion Collection. Not a bad version of the film or a poor quality, but I feel like it's not the best quality, and I feel that I'm hoping that the new restoration is going to give us a better aspect ratio, and it's just going to be an overall better viewing experience. I am very tempted to rebuy this one on 4K when it comes out, which is something I don't generally do. I don't upgrade my Criterions as soon as they come out. It's something I usually, if I do it, it's something I wait till the 50% off sale to do. Personally, I've been trying to hold off on upgrading my DVDs, my Criterion DVDs, to Blu-rays and 4Ks upon re-release until I become Criterion Complete, which is the goal. So this is one of the ones that I will say I probably am going to bite the bullet and buy this on 4K, because I feel like I need to rewatch this film again, and I would love to see it fully restored. With that being said, have you saw the film? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let me know.